morning, everybody. Welcome. We're going to start out this morning in crocodile pose. So if you want to come over onto your belly, and we're going to stack our forearms and rest the forehead on the forearms. Hi, good morning. And as always, if this is not comfortable, you can slide your arms out a little bit and rest on your cheek. The lower legs could rotate open. You can rest on your inner thigh, inner ankle. If that's not comfortable, just be on the tops of your legs. You can have the legs in neutral. Also, if you're comfortable there, or if you want to come here, this is off camera too. So whatever. Okay, yeah, wherever you're good. Okay, so take a moment now to set up crocodile pose. And make whatever little tweaks you need to feel comfortable. And once you're there, you can let your eyes close and start to allow your body to become still. So we have a certain amount of momentum in the morning as we're getting ready for class, getting set up. But feel now as we rest on the floor, that the body is slowing down and arriving. And you might start to sense that the floor underneath you is supporting the weight of your body, and you can let go just a little bit. So see now if you can kind of sink into your mat. Let go of any tension across your upper back, any gripping in the arms, gripping in the legs. And you might start to feel your head grow a little heavier on your arms or on the floor where it rests. And now take a moment to feel the place where your navel touches the floor. As you inhale, the belly presses in. You might feel a sense of filling and a sense of rising. And then as you exhale, excuse me, the body settles. So just take a few moments to allow your awareness to focus on the movement of breath at the navel and the sensation of filling and emptying. We've been looking at a couple of different pranayama practices. Last couple of weeks, last week we were looking at Kapalabhati. And today we're going to practice 4 square breathing. So in 4 square breathing, we're going to try to inhale for a count of 4, hold the breath in for 4, exhale for 4, and hold the breath out for 4. And last week when we talked about Kapalabhati, I said that it's very important that pranayama should never make you feel anxious, breathless, shouldn't make you start to feel agitated in any way. So if either holding the breath in or out is not good, hold it for a count of 1 or 2 instead of 4, or just skip it and count your inhale and exhale. But one thing you will find maybe is that while you're holding your breath, your mind will start to become a little nervous, and you can actually override that. So we're practicing keeping the body in a state of equilibrium during these retention phases. Again, if that's not happening, just keep breathing. Okay? So when you're ready, we're going to start by not holding and just breathing in and out to 4. Exhale completely, and then begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Good. So you can keep going, counting to yourself. And on the inhale, take in as much breath as you can. So really fill the belly because you need enough breath to last you for about 4 count exhale. So during that inhalation, fill your belly. You might fill up into the chest as well. Take in as much breath as you can. And then we let it go nice and steady. Now let's try putting in the retention. Exhale completely. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Good. Keep going. As you're counting, breathing, holding, just observe reactions in your body and in your mind. One more round. And when you get to the place where you've exhaled completely, we're going to return to our normal breathing. And then let's gently lift the head, and we're going to imagine that the hips and the navel are glued to the floor, and just start to walk your upper body to the left. So come onto the palms of your hands and walk as far as you can without shifting your hips. And then we're going to rest on the right cheek with the right arm framing the head. Yeah, so just feeling a nice stretch through the right side of the body, right rib cage, right shoulder joint. And continuing to take nice long measured breaths into the side body. And then let's come back to the palms of the hands again. The pelvis is glued to the floor, and we'll start to walk. Head and shoulders through center, head and shoulders over to the right. And we'll go as far as we can without shifting the pelvis. Left cheek on the floor, left arm frames the head. Again, we'll direct the breath into the side body. And just allowing the inhalation to stretch you a little bit more, create space. And with the exhale, see if you can let go. Let go of any tension or holding. And one more big breath here. And then again, coming to the palms of your hands, let's walk the body back to center. Now we're going to come up into our Sphinx pose. So we're going to have the elbows right underneath the shoulder joints, and the forearms are parallel. Okay, so this is a little squeeze in your lower back, and if it's too much, if it's not comfortable, you can shift your elbows out a little bit and be a little bit lower. So we're a little bit lower or up high. And we're going to take the chin now down towards the chest. So nice and slow, lower your head. And just imagine you're looking at your navel. Good, stay tall in your shoulder joints. And then let's roll the right ear towards the right shoulder. And the chin back to the chest. And the left ear to the left shoulder. And the chin back to the chest. So to start some little rotations with the head. And if it feels okay, you can come into a full rotation. And we'll make 2 circles in each direction. And just working out all those little clicks and cracks. A lot of those in the neck. And then we'll bring our gaze, excuse me, straight ahead again. And we're going to come back into an open leg child's pose. So you can come to the palms of your hands and we'll press up, big toes touch, walk your knees wide, and sit bones come back. And so you can be on your forehead, you can be on your cheek. And if it feels good, you can start to walk your fingers away from your body and lengthen your back. And once you've lengthened your back, you can kind of shift from side to side, stretch a little more on the left, stretch a little more on the right. And what we're going to be doing now is a moving frog. So if you're okay on hands and knees, we're going to be doing moving frog on hands and knees. If you don't kneel, another option is a moving butterfly. So you can also come over onto your back, come into a butterfly position, and open and close the knees. Okay, so it'll be the same work. Okay. So from an open child's pose, if you're there, we're going to walk the hands back so the head and shoulders lift and come up into a table position with the toes still touching. Take the hands one step out, and then we're just going to rock the pelvis forward and back. So just a little tip. I know. Good morning. And if your toes aren't quite touching, that's fine. The feet can be a little bit separate. Good. As long as the legs are externally rotated. So what we're looking for is the thighs to be turned open a bit as we're moving. Good. And if you're working on your back, nice and slow, the knees are opening and closing. So we'll try to do it slowly with precision. Okay. And if you're on your back, you're going to come into a hold now with your open butterfly. And if you are on hands and knees, we're going to come forward, drop down onto the left cheek, and let the toes rise up in the air. So it's a little bit like butterfly pose on your belly. Good. And once you're there, we're going to try to hold for about a minute. Start to see if there's any room for your legs to start dropping your feet. Good. So if it's better for your feet to stay right up in the air, they can stay right up in the air. But you might see what happens if you let gravity drop your feet a little bit, and then maybe a little bit more. And you might, in your mind's eye, see your legs in a diamond shape. And then remember which cheek you're on if you're on your cheek, not your forehead. And we're going to bring our hands to either side of the rib cage and push back up. And we'll go back to moving. If you're on your back, go back to moving. It's nice and gentle, little movements. We're going to hold one more time. Okay, moving frog, come on down to the floor, choose the other cheek, probably the right side. It could be the left. Good. And if you're in reclined butterfly, again, we'll let the knees rest open. And let's just stay here for about 10 breaths. And as we're breathing here, we can bring the breath called Ujjayi or ocean breathing forward. So the Ujjayi or ocean breath is a slight constriction in your throat that allows you to hear your own breath. So it sounds kind of like, but it's through the nose. Husky or raspy kind of breath, and we're listening to the sound of our own breath behind the forehead. So if you're in the moving frog, let's put our hands again on either side of the rib cage, press up and back into our open child's pose. And then everybody can start to get ready to come up onto your feet. So if you're in moving frog, start to walk your hands back towards your body. If you're on your back, roll to your side. Make our way up to standing. Okay, so we'll have our blocks handy. We're not going to use them right away. And just come to Tadasana, mountain pose. So take a look down at your feet. Find the feet are parallel, hip distance apart. Soft fist with the hands, and we're going to bring elbows back, arms back. So as you're pumping your arms, you feel nice and tall through the center line of the body. Gentle lift through the crown of the head. And just let your arms be easy. No tension, no holding. Open this up into a twist. So take a slightly wider stance. Gaze stays forward. And we'll just let the arms flail. Careful of walls and furniture. And then we're going to step back into our mountain feet. And we're going to practice coming up and down onto the toes. So when you're ready, arms are alongside, and let's inhale. Arms come up, rise up onto your toes. Maybe your hands can come up. And then exhale, hands come down, heels lower, press behind. Let's try 5 just like this. Inhale, come up. So you press the ball of the big toe into the floor. And just keep going, follow your breath. So the inhalation lifts you. And the exhalation gently sits you back down. Ankle strength here, of course, but then also balance. So fix your eyes on the non-moving spot on the floor or wall in front of you. And this time when you come up, let's see if we can hold for 5 counts. So we're up on our tiptoes and reach through the crown, nice and easy. And then heels down. This time as the arms come back, we're going to bend our knees and bring our sit bones back. So downhill skiing position. And we'll hold here for 5 counts, balancing over the arches of the feet. And then press into your feet and come back up. Take a slightly wider stance, and we're going to do a couple of side bends. So for this, let's bring the right arm up next to the right ear, and we're going to reach for the ceiling and then tip it. So feel that you are right in line with your hip, not back, not forward. And come back. Left hand shaves the ear, come up, reach, and then tip. And come back. Good. We'll do each side one more time. Shave the right ear. Reach. Tip. Back. And shave the left ear. Reach. Tip. And come back. Here, we do a few leg swings. So for these, again, the feet are hip distance apart. And you might put your hands on your hips so you can feel your hips tip. What we're going to do is lower the left and lift the right so that if you flex your toes, they're clearing the floor. If you want to hold on to something, grab a wall or a chair. And let's just swing. The trick is the higher you can lift your right hip, the more floor you'll clear, and you really have to kind of spread your toes too. I remember seeing this in a yoga book when I was a young person and thinking, how can you do that? Because I didn't realize the hips had a tip. It wasn't in the directions. And then land your foot, pelvis back to neutral. And then the right hip will tip, so the left hip lifts, toes flex. Nice. So it's important to be able to feel, I think, when your hips are tipped versus neutral. So when we go into our postures, we normally want our hips to be even, right? That's important for the safety of the pose. And foot. Okay, and if you are using a support, keep it for now, because we're going to come up to the hip joint. Let the weight of your body shift into the left foot, so you're balanced over the left arch. Let's bring the right knee up and circle the right knee. It's easy. For 4, you can bend your ankle, flex your toes. You can do that. You've done 5. If you need a rest, the toes can touch. And then we'll do the same thing, but we'll move back, around and through. And we'll do about 5, and then, okay, so let's flip if you're holding on to something, so that we have the right hand supported, nice and tall, weight of the body over the right arch, and the left knee lifts, foot flexes, draw a circle. And we might notice here that our hip wants to tip, right, so that we can get a bigger circle. I'm aware of that. So what is truly movement at the hip joint versus lifting and lowering your hip. So let's touch, take a rest. And now let's go back. Lifts behind, open, around. Good luck. And put down. Okay, so you can make your way back to your mountain pose. And let's just warm up the shoulders a little bit. We're going to bring the shoulders up to the ears, press back, release down, and roll through. So just start some nice easy movements. Inhale up and back. Exhale down and down. A little deeper by coming to our wings. So fingertips are on the shoulders, elbows are close in front. Let's inhale the elbows up and back, around and around. And to see if you can move without lifting your tailbones, keep your low back neutral. Stabilize yourself. You might squeeze your glutes a little bit. More. And now we're going to bring the arms behind the body and just interlace the fingers. And now the feeling is going to be that your hands are moving down towards the floor. So start to drop your fists towards the floor. And we're going to lift the chin and look up at the ceiling. So if you can, keep your teeth closed. Tip the chin, chin is lifting up, hands are moving down. We'll feel a nice stretch through the neck. Deep breaths, feel the space of the chest fill as well as the belly. And then relax. It's your effort and find your blocks. So we're going to work with a pose that's sometimes called pyramid pose, sometimes called angle pose, or Parsvottanasana. So for this one, we're going to have the 2 blocks, and we'll start them off standing tall, and you can adjust them how you need them. So we're looking at our 2 blocks, and we continue the short end of the mat. And we're going to take a step with the right foot up between the blocks. Okay, so this is similar to Warrior 1 feet. The difference is this back foot isn't turned out quite as much. So when I'm ready for warrior one, I'm more at like a 30-degree angle. I'm going to be a little bit closer to neutral here. If you feel tippy, make the stance a little bigger between your feet. Okay, so traditionally it was said that you should line your heel up with your arch, right, which makes us very tippy. So no harm at all in stepping that wider. We call those railroad tracks. We're on 2 tracks. And then we're going to interlace the fingers and place the hands on the sacrum, on the back of the pelvis, and just tip out over your right leg, hinging at the hips. And when you get to the place where your legs stop you, bend your right knee, push into your foot, tip back up, and straighten. So we're going to do this a few times as a movement. Long leg, tip out over your leg. Wherever you stop, bend your knee, push into your foot, tip back up, and straight. So keep going. Let's do that 3 more times. Nice and long. Bend. Up. Nice little flow. And this is one of those poses where you'd like to feel that your hips are even, that we're not dropping one side. And maybe your hands can feel that if they're on your sacrum. So when I'm tipping, I don't want to lead with my right hip. Right? The whole pelvis is tipping. It's 1 unit. Okay. Come forward this time and we'll stay there. If you'd like to straighten your elbows and open up your chest, you can do that. It's a nice strong back, and we're feeling that straight line between the root and the crown. And then we're going to bend that right knee enough that your fingertips can find your blocks. If that's, sorry, if that is not happening, you can keep your hands on your sacrum. Everybody touching something? Okay. If you're touching something, you can drop your head and shoulders. And then just see if that right knee can straighten a little bit, or maybe all the way. This is pyramid pose, angle pose. Okay. Important things, knees aren't locked. Just relaxing the weight of the body down towards the leg. Goal is about 10 breaths. Going a little more length in the back of the leg, you could feel that you're lifting your sit bones towards the ceiling. Small lift through the bottom of the pelvis. And then when we're ready to come out, we're going to bend the right knee a lot. Big bend in the right knee. Let's bring our hands back to the sacrum and release the fingers and bring your spine neutral. So shoulder blades are together. I have a line between my root and my crown. And then, nice and slow, tip. All right, now let's walk around a little bit. It's warm in here, isn't it? Is that just me? Yeah. I don't know how to open these windows very well. Okay, let's pick room today. Okay, we're looking at our tall blocks, and we're going to step the left foot up. Left foot is up between the standing blocks, and right toes are off. Again, feel if your stance is good or if you want to widen it a little bit. And releasing the fingers, and we're going to dip 5 times. So inhale, tip forward. Bend your knee, push in, exhale, tip up, and straighten. You got it, keep going. Okay. The thing that I'd like you to pay attention to is that the pelvis is tipping all in 1 unit, not leading with the left side. Pelvis is not balanced. That's when we stress our SI joints and feel pain after. Move into these things mindfully. Tipping forward this time, we'll hold. So nice strong back. Feel that line between the root and the crown, shoulder blades together, chest open. If you want to extend your elbows, you can do that. And then bend your knee deeply, left knee deeply, drop your hands and see if you can find a support. You can stay here, or you can start to release your head and shoulders. You can start to straighten the front leg. It's an experiment. I have the perfect version of this posture for you. Long, deep breaths. And if your hands are on the floor or if your hands are on the blocks, feel that there's some body weight in the arms as well. Right? So you're maybe not releasing the whole weight of the body into the legs. And when it's time to come up, bend your knee deeply. Bring your hands back up on the back of the pelvis and release your fingers. Come to a neutral spine. So feel the shoulders lift. Feel the crown and the root line up. And then tip, tip, tip. And lift up. Step together. And let's walk it out. Okay, so we can do some marching feet. Marching feet means that we're bringing the knees as high as they go to release any tension in the lower back. And we can do some chicken kicks as well. So chicken kicks, the thighs stay straight and heels come up. This always feels good in my knees. All right, so get tension in the knees. Okay, and then we'll come back on down to the mat. So let's come to seated. And we're going to bring the legs straight out from the body. So we'll come to our staff position. Good. If it's good for you to have a cushion underneath your sit bones, you can walk up onto the edge of a blanket or a cushion. And let's just think about our feet. We're going to flex our toes, brush through the heels, and then point, flex, point. And then draw some circles with your big toes, rotate the ankle joints. And go one way and then the other way. So we're going to work with head to knee pose. And there's going to be two different ways to position the legs. So we'll see what we like better. So the first variation I'm going to show you is with the fire log pose. For that one, we take the right ankle and we place it above the left knee. So you see how this feels. For some people, it's bad. So you can cushion your ankle bone. So the ankle bone is kind of biting into the quads. You can put a little cushion in between or a blanket in between, or just change where that bone is landing. And if your knee isn't sure if it's happy, you can prop the knee. So what this is going to do is give us a strong hip stretch coming forward. If this position of the legs is very bad, the foot can be inside. And inside, same thing for your knee. If there's any pulling or tension in the knee joint, the knee supported. Okay, so I'm either here or here. I'm sitting up tall through the crown, and we're going to hinge forward. So just like we're tipping out towards the left foot, and you're going to find a place where your body stops, your edge. And once you're there, you can release your head and shoulders. If you prefer to keep your back straight, you can keep your back straight. Hands can be wherever they fall comfortably, resting on the legs, resting on the floor. And I'm going to invite you again to try the Ujjayi or ocean breath here for about 10 breaths. Just drifting the throat, relaxing your mind into the sound of your breath. And just feel that you can relax your fingers and toes and just let the torso be heavy. And if you can soften your upper body, you might feel it start to ride your breath. So as you inhale and fill your abdomen, you rise a little bit. And as the belly empties, you fall a little bit. Bring the back long again. So lift your head and shoulders so you have a nice neutral spine. And then we'll tip back up. So wherever your foot is, we're going to bring the knee up. So if you're in fire log, you can come here. If the foot's on the inside, you can come here. And we're going to move into a twisting position. If having the knee up is not good, you can switch it out for your easy pose legs. Okay. And the left hand is going to hold the outside of the right knee. Sit up nice and tall. And then the belly will turn towards the inner thigh. So we're going to turn the belly right, turn the chest right, and just gaze out over the right shoulder. You want to see how it feels to flex your left foot, brush through your heel. You can activate the resting leg. And nice deep breaths into the abdomen. And now just see if you could go 1/4 inch deeper. Is that available? So using the muscles in the abdomen, the obliques, see if you could twist just a teeny bit more for 3 breaths. And then start to slowly come back to neutral. You can lead with your head and then shoulders, then belly. Back to our staff position. Good. Wiggle your toes, move your ankles. And we'll do our forward fold on the other side. So you can test this side, excuse me, might be different. So you can pick up your left foot and see fire log variation is like. Again, maybe propping it. If not, we're inside the leg. And when you like your base, we're nice and tall. So sit up tall. And then just start to hinge the hips towards the leg. And I'm looking for that place where my body stops.
No.
I know. I haven't even moved yet. Good. And then you can keep your head and shoulders up if you like, or drop. So for all of our forward folds, we have the option of keeping a neutral spine or rounding the spine. Okay, so rounding the spine will bring the forward fold a little deeper. But for some folks, it can make you feel dizzy or hard to breathe, right? So there are some reasons why we might not want to release the head and shoulders. Pain in the back too, it can be a little bit harder on the back. Keeping a neutral spine is also more strengthening for the back. So they're both wonderful variations, and you're completely free to pick what feels better in any particular posture. And with that idea in mind of a neutral pelvis, feel wherever you are that you are sitting on both of your sit bones squarely, not tipping. And maybe your spine is rounded and now come to neutral. And we'll tip back up. And then position the foot. So if you're in fire log, just lift your knee. If you're inside, you can step over or stay inside. Okay, right hand, outer left knee, left arm behind you, sit up tall first, and then start to turn towards inner thigh, chest left, and the eyes are gazing over the left shoulder. So on our twist, the upward motion is first, the twist is second. Here and breathe. Look and see if there's that 1/4 inch deeper. Fire up your obliques and just see if you can turn a little bit more. It doesn't take much. And then we'll start to unravel. Come back to your staff position. So back out in front of you. And again, let's wiggle the toes, shake the legs out. And we're going to lie down. So have your blocks where you can reach them. And roll your spine back down to the mat. Once you're there, if you'd like to bring your arms up overhead to the floor and just give yourself a full body stretch. So reach through your fingers, press through your heels. Tuck your chin just a little bit so the neck is long. And then we'll bring the hands alongside us on the floor. We're going to bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet to the floor. For just a moment, press into your feet, lift your pelvis, and just roll out your low back. So you place the low back down and then the pelvis. And we're going to tip the knees. So start a nice little tip from side to side. And easy. And we're going to take our stance now wider. So step your feet to the edges of your mat. The pinky toe is either at the edge or just off the edge. And we'll do windshield wipers. So let the right knee drop down towards the center line of the mat and come back up. And left knee drops and come back up. Good. And so just a nice easy rocking motion side to side. And the upper body relaxed. And we're going to come to a wind reliever pose, but think about where your feet are now. We're going to do this with the legs wide open. So normally we're hugging our knees into our belly. Instead, we're going to hug our knees into our hips. So if you lift your feet up, bring your hands around your kneecaps and draw your thighs towards your two outer hips. Rock your low back a little bit. And then we're going to close the legs and we're going to move with the legs up in the air unless it's not good for your back or your belly. Then you can bring your feet down. So feet are either on the ground or up in the air. Knees are bent, legs are close to the body, and the hands are alongside on the floor. We're going to roll to the right hip and drop the legs to the floor. And then exhale, squeeze your belly in, draw the thighs towards you, roll across your low back. Inhale and drop both legs to the left. Exhale, squeeze the belly in, draw the thighs into the abdomen, roll across the low back. Inhale and drop both legs right.
Okay. So you got it. We're going to just be rolling the thighs from side to side and doing so with the breath. So as we're lifting the legs up, we're squeezing the belly in, drawing the thighs close. And as you inhale, you relax and just place your legs down on the floor. Very likely the opposite shoulder is popping up. That's okay. Just keep the shoulders relaxed. And you're going to keep moving along. The next time that both knees are falling right, we'll stay there. Okay, so we're in a reclined twist position. The eyes are looking up at the ceiling. And just notice your left shoulder. So if your shoulder is up off the floor, that's okay, unless it's painful, right? Then we might want to let the left arm rest on the side body or rest on a block. Let's pick up the head now and see if you can look to your left and place the head back down. And we'll stay here for about 5 big breaths. Lift your head, eyes are back at the ceiling, head is on the floor. Exhale, squeeze your belly in, draw your thighs in towards your abdomen, roll across the lower back, nice and slow, and drop the knees left on the inhale. Excuse me. And then we're going to stay here. Again, check in with your right shoulder. Is it okay? It might be on the floor, it might be up and okay. Otherwise, arm is on a block, arm is resting on your rib cage. No tension in the shoulder joint. Pick up your head, turn and look to your right, and place your head back down. And stay here. Pick up your head, bring your eyes back to the ceiling, head to the floor. Exhale, squeeze your belly in, thighs into the abdomen, and feet back to the floor. Once your feet are back on the floor, you can kind of arrange yourself again and tip the knees just a little bit right to left. So we're going to do the Agnisara practice now, but we're going to do it on our backs. If it's useful for you to have your hands on your low abdomen, your hands could be on your low abdomen with the middle fingers just softly touching. And we'll do each of the 3 breaths 3 times, and then we'll do it as a whole. So the first place we're thinking about is our root. So you're down at your pelvic floor. As you inhale now, really relax the pelvic floor. And as you exhale, lift and squeeze the pelvic floor. Inhale, release and relax. There's a feeling of expanding and moving away. And then as you exhale, squeeze, and there's a feeling of lifting. And you might notice, so keep going, squeezing and releasing at the pelvic floor. You might notice that your low abdomen is moving too. All right, it's very difficult to completely isolate, but as best you can, you're just asking your low abdomen to rest. That's a very precise movement at the cranium. And now think about your low abdomen. So you're right around the pelvic center. And imagine the breath moving right into the low abdomen. Inhale enough that your middle fingers separate. And then as you exhale, see if you can squeeze your low abdomen in enough for the middle fingers to press into one another. So of course, the rest of the abdomen is filling and emptying with the movement coming from the muscles in the low belly. And then relax that. You might sink your elbows to the floor and come up to the space of the navel. So let's focus right behind the belly button. Inhale and fill your abdomen. Exhale and squeeze, draw the navel down towards your spine. Again, 3 breaths here. And then just relax the whole area of your pelvis. Again, you might tip your knees a little bit, let go. And now we'll do all 3 contractions in a row. And we're going to hold them. So while we're holding them, don't hold your breath, but you're going to be breathing shallowly, all right, like up high in the chest. That's okay. Okay, so when you're ready, big inhalation and relax. And then as you exhale, start to lift and squeeze at the pelvic floor. Draw the low abdomen in, draw the navel in, and squeeze. Now, see if you can hold that tension. Breathe way up high in your nose. And then soften the navel, soften the low abdomen, soften the pelvic floor. Big inhalation through your nose. And exhale out your mouth. Let's do this one more time with holds. Inhale and relax. Exhale, lift and squeeze, pelvic floor, low abdomen, navel. And then sometimes we talk about this feeling of sucking the navel up towards the rib cage. So we've done that. You can do that here and hold. And release. Once again, inhale through your nose. And exhale out your mouth. And now we'll do about 5 repetitions where we're continuously moving. Inhale and relax. Exhale, lift and squeeze, pelvic floor, draw in the low abdomen, draw in the navel. Inhale, release the navel, low abdomen, pelvic floor. Exhale, squeeze the pelvic floor, low abdomen, navel. Inhale, release the navel, low abdomen, pelvic floor. If you got it, keep going. As the tightening is moving up from the pelvic floor to the navel, we're squeezing and exhaling. And as we're releasing from the navel down to the perineum, we're inhaling and letting go. So maybe you can start to see this as a movement like a wave. Okay, so it's a wave traveling up that is squeezing and contracting. And it's a wave moving back down that is filling and relaxing. And when you get to the bottom of your next exhale, we'll relax. Your choice, you could come to wind reliever if that would feel good. You can fan your knees if that would feel good, or maybe just a nice full body stretch. So find your counter movement that relaxes your belly, like either stretching it out or hugging it close. And then we'll bring the arms back alongside, bend your knees. And for a moment, lift your head and look at your bent knees. And then see if you can place your head down with your chin tucked just a little bit. Slide your shoulder blades together. And we're going to try to lift the pelvis a few times in a moving bridge. Okay, so we'll do 3. Walk your feet close to your seat. Feet are hip distance apart. Exhale, draw your navel in so the pelvis tilts towards you. And then start to slowly lift your pelvis up off the floor by pressing into your feet. And then begin to roll the spine back down, vertebra by vertebra, nice and slow. Low back touches, pelvis releases. So here we go. Exhale, squeeze your belly in. Inhale, roll up the spine. Exhale, roll the spine back down, nice and slow, vertebra by vertebra. Pelvis touches, release. Inhale. Okay. You got it. Exhale, squeeze in. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, release down. Inhale, relax. 2 more times. Exhale, squeeze in. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, roll down. Pelvis touches, inhale, release. Okay, 1 more. Exhale, squeeze in. Inhale, roll up. Okay. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, release. Again, bend your knees, and we're going to close with a supported bridge. So this is a bridge from the yin style. Find your block. And the block is going to be right underneath the sacrum. So you can press down into your feet and kind of lift your pelvis and slide it under there. It should not be in your lower back at all, right? Just holding up the pelvis. And you can see how that feels. If it's not good, you can do something a little softer like your cushion. The block gives us a pretty nice firm lift up. So see what you think. You can adjust a little bit. Again, walk your shoulder blades together, tuck your chin. And this is a perfectly good place to stay. If you want a little more, you might see what it feels like to bring your legs long. Okay, so what happens if I stretch my legs out? If that's good, again, and you want a little more, you could bring your arms up to the floor above your head. Okay, so play around a little bit because we will come to holding this. I can have my arms alongside and my knees bent. I could have my legs long and my arms long. When you pick your perfect variation, we're going to stay here for about 2 minutes. So in the yin style means that there is no holding. So feel that you're kind of melting over your block. Hands are relaxing, fingers are curling. Yeah, feel softness in your elbows and shoulders. Relax your face. And feel that it is the block that is holding you. You're absolutely not holding yourself in any way. And soften the sides of your waist and your belly so the breath flows easy. And
And relax the muscles in your face, your forehead, the space around your eyes. And just feel that the front of your body is expansive. It's easy to breathe. If you like the ocean breath or ujjayi breath, you could bring that forward here. Or just breathe silently for about 10 more breaths.
So if you have your legs long, bend your knees now and come to the soles of your feet. If you have your arms up overhead, let's float them down alongside. And we're just going to remove the block and bring the pelvis back to the floor. So push into your feet enough that you can slide the block out and roll your spine. Yeah, vertebra, back vertebra, down to the floor. And let your low back sink into the floor. Just a little bit. And we're going to be getting ready now for our final relaxation. So transitioning into Shavasana, if you want to grab cushion for your head, if you'd like to slide a bolster under your knees, grab socks or sweatshirt. So do whatever you need to do now to be completely comfortable. And with your eyes closed, get a sense of your body. And see if you can feel your asana practice in your body. And just notice what places in you call your attention the most strongly. And start to allow the mat again to hold you. So allowing the mat to hold you is much easier at the end of a practice than at the beginning. All right, we're a little tired, so we appreciate the support. And there is a lot less tension being held, whether consciously or subconsciously in the body. And relax the space around your eyes, the space behind your eyes. Feeling the forehead smooth out, the jaw release. And feel the place where the back of your head touches its support. And let the head be heavy. Softening into the back of your neck and the sides of your neck. Release your throat. And as you do that, relax the insides of your cheeks and your tongue. For a few breaths, feel the coolness of your inhalation moving into your nostrils.
And the warmth of your exhalation flowing out. Shoulders are released and heavy. And as you travel down your arms, relax the upper arms and elbows, the lower arms and wrists. Relax your hands, feeling the fingers curl, and a sense of warm energy in your palms. In your next inhalation, feel that you could draw this warm energy from the palms of your hands up your arms to your heart center. And then exhale from the heart center back down the lengths of your arms out into the palms of your hands. So slow your attention down, especially if it wants to jump, right, from the heart to the hands. Instead, follow that trail up the forearms, up the biceps, across the chest to the heart. And then controlling that breath, moving back down the arms, through the elbows, through the wrists to the palms. Moving along, and the next time you're at your heart center, let this warm energy spread through the sides of your rib cage and into your upper back, mid back, space between the shoulder blades. And now relax the sides of your waist. Relax your lower back. And just have the feeling that you're letting go of your lower back. I did a lot of extension today. The lower back drops towards the floor. And then observe the movement of breath at the abdomen. Belly fills, belly empties. Feel your hip joints. Feel your pelvic floor. Feel your glutes. And then soften the muscles in your thighs, around your knee joints, the lower legs and ankles, out into your feet. Soften the arches of your feet. Soften your toes. And as you feel that place where your heels are touching the floor, your legs are heavy. Feel warm energy resting in the arches of your feet. And as you inhale, draw that energy up your legs, all the way to your navel center. And then exhale that energy back down your legs to the bottoms of your feet. And with every inhalation that travels up, feel that you're bringing fresh energy into the lower body. Feel the ankle joints, knee joints, hip joints, and refreshing the legs with prana. This energy that is so clarifying, deeply nourishing, traveling into every cell between your feet and your navel. And as the exhale travels from the navel back out through the bottoms of your feet, let go of any tension you're holding in the low body. Physical tension, emotional tension, mental tension in the big joints of the legs. So let go as the breath moves out as best you can. The next inhalation travels through the bottoms of your feet all the way to the crown of your head. And exhale from the crown of your head down the length of your whole body and out through your feet. You full body breaths. At the bottom of your next exhale, bring your awareness up to the touch of breath in your nostrils. Relax your forehead, relax your eyes. And as you feel your breath move in and out of your nose, hear the sound of the mantra come forward. So as you inhale into your nose, hear so. And as you exhale, hear Om. Inhale so. Exhale Om. And deeply relax the mind into the sound of the mantra. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. And now allow the sound of the mantra to go. Take a few deep breaths and start to move your body. Wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, maybe gently moving your head from side to side. And start to allow awareness to move back out into this room. And hear the sounds in your room, maybe sounds outside your room. We can roll over to the side and we'll come to seated for just a moment.
Take our palms together now and warm the palms of the hands. Now when the hands feel nice and warm, we can cup them over the eyes. And allow your eyes to open to the darkness of your hands. And just take your hands away when you feel ready to. Well, thank you all so much. Thank you. Namaste. Everyone have a wonderful week. And the sun came out too.
Sing it.
Yeah, the sun will come out.
Today.
Yeah, during Shavasana.
Thank you for a great class.
My pleasure. Great. Have a good week.
Thank you, Tracy.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Hope your car comes back.
Yeah, it's not back yet. Okay, thanks.
Take care.
You too.
Thanks, Tracy.
Yeah, my pleasure. Good to see you.
Take care.
You too.